Even though Jordans are an integral part of a sneaker collection, unfortunately in life, every good thing must come to an end, especially on sneakers. No matter how careful you are, time is inevitable, and it always wins. With that in mind, here are every major problem of all the Jordans, the OG Jordans from 1 to 14. Of course, let's start with the Jordan 1. Even though the Jordan 1 is considered to be one of the most iconic sneakers and more durable Jordans, it still has its own problems. The yellowing of the midsoles is a problem for Jordan 1s. Sole crack, paint cracks, paint chips, and probably the hardest part of every Jordan 1 collector is the heel drag. This makes or breaks your Jordan 1. Every time I see a heel drag, I feel so bad for my Jordan 1. I feel like I won't be able to wear them anymore, or I won't be able to wear them for a long time after that. As you can see here in my neutral grays, the shoe is generally clean, but the heel drag is just awful. I don't know how many more times I can get to wear this before it's completely gone. So yeah. So with that being said, the Jordan 1 is still considered as the most durable of all the OGs. That's why a lot of people are still buying them. It's just not that comfortable anymore compared to the other sneakers. Moving on to the Jordan 2s. The major problem of this sneaker is the looks. No, I'm just playing. I don't know why people hate on the Jordan 2s. It's kind of underrated in my opinion. I like the style, and it's definitely more comfortable than the Jordan 1. But with that being said, the major problem of this is the crumbling and also the heel part. As you can see here, it's in a plastic already. As you saw there, the Jordan 2 has the crumbling problem, which started a trend. Moving on to the Jordan 3s, probably, if not the most iconic Jordan silhouette of all time, it's definitely up there. The main problem of these also is the crumbling. I'll show you on my other pair right there. This pair looks good, but once you touch it here, do you see that? I'll do that again. Once you do that, there's an indent. Oh my gosh. Look at that sneaker crack. That is crazy. And another thing here is the heel tab. It will come off no matter how careful you are with your sneakers. Time is really not on our side. Look at that. For the Jordan 4, unfortunately, I do not have a pair of that yet. That's why that's empty right there. But same with the Jordan 3s. The Jordan 4s also struggle with the crumbling, the heel tab as well, and those flaps for the laces. It tends to come off, it tends to rip because it's just plastic. And I had one friend that actually, once he tightened the laces, those came off. I don't know how I'll show that in a clip, but yeah. Moving on to the Jordan 5s. This is my most saddest pair because I love this pair. I love the look of this pair. This is the metallics from 2016. Again, crumbling. The net. Ooh, the net. Not just the nets from the outer side and the medial side. The nets also on the tongue. Crazy, crazy. I really love the 5s. Especially this 2017 pair. The reimagined metallics just cost a ton of money for it to look like this in the future. That's why I can't bite the bullet on those. For the Jordan 6, which is in my opinion the best looking Jordan out of all the Jordans. Especially this came out in 1991. Imagine the people seeing these in 1991. But like all its predecessors, the crumbling, will get to it. This hasn't crumbled yet, but I can't wear it anymore. The other one did crumble. The nubuck cracks if you wear these a ton. And lastly, the spoiler, which I call it, the pull tab at the back, it will break. No, it's not a matter of will it, it's a matter of when it will break. It still has the moisture on it. Pretty weird to touch. I'll show this the best I can on camera. But those are the problems for the Jordan 6. For the Jordan 7s, this is actually an OG pair from 1991. It's kind of crazy. I did restore these. As you can see, it is whiter. This is still yellowish compared to this. This is fully wearable, by the way. But anyway, the major problem with this compared to the 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, the polyurethane that they used and the air units that they used is inside. So the midsole will not crack. The major problems is inside the midsole. So if you want to restore these, there's a ton of restoration videos. I will link in the description below. Rejuvenator has one. Vic Almighty has one. So yeah, crazy that the 7s don't crack as much as the others. And another major problem for the Jordan 7s is the back tab here, the one with the numbers. It tends to crack. So be wary of that once you wear your sneakers. Now for the 8s, Nike returned to the cracking here. Look at that moisture. That's crazy. I wore these a couple of times because I bought them and it was barely used. I bought them back in 2020, which is kind of crazy for the price that I bought it for. I bought it for 40 bucks and it was VNDS, barely used. But when I used them a couple of times, I knew why it was cheap. So the plastics here, they tend to break too, as you can see on the other pair right here. The midsole is definitely, it's cooked. So those are the two major problems for the 8. Same for the Jordan 9. Look at this. It doesn't even have the sole anymore. This was from 2010. This is I was a kid back then. So this is, I think, a size 5Y. My first ever Jordan 9. Look at that sole. So yeah, that is the major problem. I have another pair right here. This was my dad's. Does confirm it that the Jordan 9s have the crumbling problem as well. For the Jordan 10s, now this is pretty cool to see. This is from 1994, an OG pair by the way. This started a trend for the 10s to 14s that they don't crumble. But not really though, because the crumbling happens inside. As you can see right here, once I open it, the air units do tend to crumble. But then again, the 10 is one of the best, most comfortable sneakers on the Jordan line. And it's an underrated pair too. Look at that. That's a beautiful shoe. I kind of ruined my pair. I won't post that. I might post that video, but I don't want to. That was embarrassing. Anyway, for the Jordan 11s, this is kind of crazy. This is a new sneaker, by the way, from 2025, if I'm not mistaken. 24. This was from 2024. The major problems of the Jordan 11s, number one is the patent leather, especially the newer pairs. The patent leather sucks. Compared to the OG versions, the patent leather on these are amazing. It won't break. Not as much as you think. Compared to the newer versions, I only had this for 2 years and the patent leather is already cracking, which is kind of crazy in my opinion. That's one of the major problems for the 11. Also, the midsoles inside the sneaker is like the Jordan 10s. It will tend to crumble in the future. It's not as bad as the earlier Jordan models, the crumbling that those had. This one is inside, so you can still wear it. It's just not going to be as comfortable as it used to be. And a major problem here, it's not a major problem. The icy soles, yellow. So, I mean, everybody knows that once you buy a Jordan 11, it's like a rite of passage that happens to everyone. Compared to the other icy soles from the Jordan line, the 5 and the 6, the 11s tend to look the worst out of them all because it's a full outsole. Now for the Jordan 12s, again, this is a 1996, the OG version. The major problem of this 12 is the tabs right here, the Jumpman tab. This is a dead stock pair, by the way. So this will happen in the future with all the Jordan 12s. These ones are used. I did replace them already. It's the same 97. I have a brand new pair and a usable pair right here. And like the models before this, the 10, the 11, again, the problem is inside of the sneaker. You can still wear them. It's not as bad as the 2s to the 8s, the 9s, but it won't be as comfortable as it was. Man, I am sweating. Philippines weather right now is crazy. It's crazy hot. Now, for the Jordan 13s, again, this is a 97 pair. This is an OG pair. The major problems here are the 2 holograms. So the cat's eye here, it will tend to fog up and break over time. Mine doesn't even have the glass anymore. And at the bottom, at the sole area, there is another glass material like the hologram that will crack over time. This hasn't been worn. This is a brand new sneaker when I bought it. But I'm scared to wear it. I don't want to wear it. It just looks good DS. So I didn't even pay that much for this. If you're looking for good sneaker deals, I'll link a video. Actually, I'll link a playlist of my Japanese auction sites. I got these for 60 bucks. brand new, which is kind of crazy. So if you want to check that out, it's here. Lastly, the Jordan 14s. Unfortunately, I don't have a pair too, just like the 4s. Jordan 14s don't have much on it. Again, the midsole. Forgot to say for the 13s, the inner midsole, again, the air unit will crumble over time, just like the 10s to the 12s. Same with the 14s, it does happen too, but the major problem with this is the rear lights. I call it the rear lights. I think it is called the rear lights because it's based on Michael Jordan's Ferrari. So these tend to crack and they tend to get removed over time. So that's one of the major problems for the 14s. The paint chipping as well. I mean, those are for every sneaker. That's why I didn't include it in the list anymore. That's not a major problem because that will always happen to any sneaker. At the end of the day though, OG Jordans are more than just sneakers. They're history, culture, and memories stitched into leather or nubuck or whatever material the Jordans are. Every flaw tells a story. Most of those pairs aren't wearable anymore, but they ingrained memories for me that I will never forget. And that's what makes collecting Jordans both a challenge and a privilege. It's an unforgettable experience. Trust me about it. If you don't have a Jordan yet, buy your first Jordan. It's going to change your life. But before you buy your Jordan, watch the video again. Make sure you're ready to part ways with them in the future. So at the time of posting this video, I don't have it yet, but if you're watching from the future, here's a video on how you can somewhat slow down the time when it comes to the life of your sneakers. If it's not there yet, in the meantime, I have another video right here talking about a shoe that even time forgot.